Okay? Where is the metta?
Coming.
Okay. Let us begin with our metta meditation. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds, whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth. May all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere. Neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hate or resentment, whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or whenever awake. One should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision, removing desires for sensual pleasures. One comes never again to birth in the womb. With this metta thought in mind, let us continue our meditation. As we repeat every day, we pay total, pure attention to our breath. And as we breathe in, we notice the breath touching our nostrils and expanding our lower abdomen and chest area. As we breathe out, we notice lower abdomen contracting, chest area contracting, and breath leaving our nostrils. And these are the activities repeated again and again every time we breathe in and out. And this becomes so clear to our mind, then we notice the the feeling of the breath is changing, it is impermanent, perception is changing, impermanent, thoughts change, impermanent, consciousness change, impermanent. We use the word change, 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 but you have to see impermanent. They rise and fall, rise and fall, rise, fall without leaving anything behind. That is a very important awareness that we have to develop, cultivate, and get habit into it. And then when we see this happening again and again, the mind will not try to hold on to anything in our experience because it is a futile effort, waste of time, because we cannot hold on to anything. They are constantly appearing and disappearing, appearing and disappearing. And then also when we see this reality, our body relaxes, mind relaxes, the breath relaxes. In that relaxed state of mind, metta feeling begins to appear. Metta feeling does not appear when everything is rigid, upright, fixed. When that happens, our anger or hatred, resentment, and so on will fade away. And then arises extra energy to see restlessness and worry fades away when we see compassion. We are not agitated about sufferings, seeing or hearing of suffering beings. Rather, compassion arises in our mind. Then the mind becomes even more active. Sleepiness and drowsiness fades away. This active state is coming from our understanding of the truth, and this also has deeper root, but we have no time to explain that. And then we see that everything is appearing, disappearing, anger disappeared, metta feeling arises, compassion arises, energy arises, and seeing all this, whatever doubt we have in our mind regarding the Buddha, Dhamma, or Sangha, that doubt fades away. Doubt fades away only when we see the truth, reality, which is not in books but in our experience. And then joy arises in our mind. When we see the truth, joy arises only because we see the truth. When joy increased to a higher degree, happiness arises. Happiness makes the body and mind even more relaxed, serene, calm, and composed. Tranquility arises. With this tranquility, concentration arises. With the concentrated state of mind, we can see the subtlest changes, the subtlest way of appearing and disappearing of the body, the breath, feeling, perceptions, thought, and consciousness. You can see how rapidly they arise and rapidly they pass away. All happen constantly, continuously, without anybody's instigation or force. They happen very naturally. Impermanence is not some negotiated something or for something. It is the nature of existence, impermanence. Seeing this, our any notion of permanent self will vanish, disappears. So with this understanding, we continue our practice. dukkhapatta ca niddukkha, bhayapatta ca nibbhaya, sokapatta ca nissoka, hontu sabbe pipanino. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be. With this metta thought in mind, let us begin our Dhamma talk. Today I am going to talk on a different subject. For a change, we have been talking on a very profound aspects of Dhamma. What I'm going to speak on is also not very simple, but relatively easier to understand. Today I'm going to talk on Venerable Radha and Venerable very tiny little like mustard seed like amount of Venerable Sariputta. Venerable Radha, there was a man in the monastery where Buddha and other monks were living, and this man was taking care of monks, bringing water for them, and cleaning, removing weeds, and sweeping the area, and doing all this labor for this venerable monks. He did all this voluntarily. When the monks finished their meals, whatever is left over, they would give to him. And that's all he had to eat. Very poor, but very dedicated, very honest, sincere, very faithful man. So one day the Buddha was walking in the compound among kutis, and he saw this old man. It is said he was 120 years old. Even at that age, he was working. Perhaps, perhaps that kept him going. Work. So the Buddha asked him, what is your name? My name is Radha. Remember, easy to remember. In English, we have Radha. This is Radha. Then Buddha asked him, are you comfortable here? Oh yes, Venerable, I'm very comfortable. These monks are very kind to me. They take care of me. I take care of them. Then the Buddha asked him, don't you like to become a monk? Then he said, Venerable Sir, nobody wants to ordain me. I'm too old. They say I'm too old to ordain and cannot, when old man is ordained, he cannot learn anything. And they say, therefore they did not want to ordain me. Then Buddha went back to his monastery and called the monks to monks assembly hall. And then when everybody, many hundreds of monks sat down, Buddha asked them, do you know so and so is working here? They said, yes, Venerable Sir is a very dedicated, very sincere, faithful man. Then Buddha asked them, is there anybody who remembers him doing any favor to him? Nobody said anything because this man didn't do any special favor to anybody, but he was taking care of all of them, not paying attention to any particular one. When Buddha mentioned this, Venerable Sariputta stood up and went and paid respect to the Buddha and said, Venerable Sir, he has done a favor to me. Then Buddha asked him, what was that? One day, and as usual, my regular routine work is to clean kutis and sweep them and tidy the kutis up when the other monks go on Pindapa to collect food, and when they're meditating and so forth. I go to their kutis and clean them. One day I was a little late after cleaning kutis, sweeping kutis and tidying up their kutis and so forth. And I was going to the nearest place to get some food at lunchtime. And then this man, he himself being poor, didn't have anything to give me, but he stretched his hand and pointed to a house and said, Venerable, that house may be giving some food. I would think you would like to go there. That's all. Then he went there and they gave him little food and then came and ate. Venerable Sariputta said that was a great favor because that day I was late. I nearly missed my lunch. And this gentleman pointed me that house. And Buddha asked him, do you like to ordain him? Oh, with great honor, Venerable Sir, I definitely want to ordain him. I am so grateful to him. And Venerable Sariputta ordained him. Somebody may ask, why didn't the Buddha ordain him? Buddha himself? You know, Buddha always wanted to teach a lesson. Ordaining itself is not any particular lesson, but the Buddha wanted to point out or show and stressed the very important virtue called gratitude. So Buddha knew that Venerable Sariputta would ordain him. And Buddha knew Venerable Sariputta had received some favor from him. And Buddha wanted to show to other monks how grateful Venerable Sariputta was and how humble and faithful this man was. Rather, Venerable Sariputta ordained him and gave full ordination. This man, this monk, now he is Venerable Radha. Venerable Radha. Buddha began to pay special attention to Venerable Radha, that he gave 46 discourses to Venerable Radha. We can see in Sangyutta Nikaya, it's called Radha Sangyutta. Radha Sangyutta, where he has given 46 discourses, particularly for Venerable Radha. Then, because Venerable Radha being an old monk and did not have much chance to learn Dhamma, now he took the advantage of this golden opportunity. Golden opportunity. What is the golden opportunity? That he was ordained the first disciple of the Buddha, what you call Buddha's chief disciple of the Buddha, and Venerable Sariputta was alive, and the Buddha himself was alive. What else you need? What else you need? So this man wanted to take the advantage of the Buddha because he is 120 years old. Perhaps Buddha also might be pretty old, close to 80, and therefore, before Buddha, Venerable Sariputta passed away, this man wanted to learn Dhamma very quickly. So he approached the Buddha several times. So one day he approached the Buddha and asked a question. Now let us focus on the question he asked the Buddha. One question he asked was, he said, Venerable Sir, it is said Mara, Mara, in what way Venerable Sir might Mara be? We use the word Mara. I think you are all, most Buddhists are familiar with the word Mara. Mara is defined in several places in different ways. Some in the commentary, like Visuddhimagga sub-commentary. Visuddhimagga is commentary, but it has sub-commentary. Visuddhimagga, what you call Visuddhimagga Visuddhimagga commentary. This is sub-commentary. Visuddhimagga Tika. And that Visuddhimagga teachings, it's called sub-commentary of Visuddhimagga. It classify Mara in 5 ways, 5 kinds of Mara. What are they? First one is defilements. That's called Kilesa Mara. Kilesa. Second is aggregate Mara. Aggregate means Khanda. We all know Khandas. We all know defilements. Defilements, definitely, all defilements are armies of Mara. We will list few of them later on. And we all have abundant of them in us. So when I mention, we will see how powerful these armies of Mara. The third is volitional formations, let alone others. This alone itself is a very powerful Mara. And the fourth is Devaputta Mara. We don't know very much about Devaputta Mara. That is called Vasavatti in Buddhist cosmology. There are 6 realms belonging to also sensual plane. And the last of them is Paranimita Vasavatti. Paranimita Vasavatti means he controls everything that somebody else creates. He doesn't create anything, but he has a very egotistic way to dominate everything and become very powerful. That's called Paranimita. Paranimita means created by others. Vasavatti, dominating. And he dominates our life. That is called Paranimita Vasavatti Mara. And the last Mara also we have. We will see them only once. We never see that Mara second time. What is that Mara? That's called death. We die only once. Only that time we see this Mara. So we see some of these Maras like Kiles Mara we know, then aggregate smara we know, and then sankhara, volitional formation smara we know, but paranimita vasavati mara we don't know. But the other four, other fifth mara, everybody meets once. So these are the maras. Out of them, when Radha asked the Buddha, Venerable Sir, we hear Mara, Mara, Mara. What is Mara, Venerable Sir? Could you explain that to me? Then the Buddha said, when there is form, brother, there might be Mara, or the killer, or the one who is killed. Therefore, rather see form as Mara, see it as the killer, see it as the one who is killed, see it as disease, as a tumor, as a dart, as a misery, as real misery. Those who see it thus see rightly. So Mara in this case, this Mara belongs to the second category of Mara. In the list of Mara I mentioned earlier, one is Kilesa. Now here Buddha Buddha taught Venerable Radha Kilesa, aggregates, five aggregates as Mara. I mentioned only one, but other four also we have to uh, include in this description or analysis of Mara. Uh, then Venerable Radha asked the Buddha, uh, so when the Buddha said, seeing this Mara as it is called right seeing. Those who see it thus see rightly. So we all can see rightly when we see this Mara in our five aggregates. So no mistake. Then Venerable Radha asked the Buddha, Venerable Sir, what is the purpose of seeing rightly? Now body is Mara, feelings are Mara, perceptions is Mara, and volitional formations is Mara, consciousness. When you see all these things, you said that is right seeing. What is the purpose of that? Then the Buddha said, the purpose of seeing rightly rather is revulsion. Revulsion. Now, this is a very appropriate sermon explanation for Venerable Radha. He is 120 years old. My goodness, you have enough capacity in your mind, alertness, your health to grasp the meaning of this teaching. And I mean, living alone up to 120 is a miracle. But he had not lived like a vegetable 120 years. He lived in a very good, full healthy life. So with alertness, clear mind, and with lot of saddha. So he asked this question, and when Buddha answered the question, he was so alert and mindful, he asked another question, asked the Buddha another question. What did he ask? When Buddha said the purpose of seeing rightly is to is revulsion. Then what Venerable say is the purpose of revulsion? The purpose of revulsion rather is dispassion. Now this man is pretty old. He may not have that much passion because all his senses are weak. As most of us know, when the senses are weak, the passion must also be weak. But here, passion doesn't simply mean passion for sensual pleasure. This passion is called desire, greed. Greed will never get old. Everything can get old, but greed remains, clinging remains, desire remains very alert and alive. So Buddha said, therefore, uh, when Buddha gives an answer, he gives a full answer, complete answer, not like us, because Buddha is the fully enlightened. So the fully enlightened Buddha cannot give half enlightened answer. fully, fully enlightened Buddha gives full answer, complete answer. And then he asked again, what is the purpose of revulsion, Venerable Sir? What is the purpose of revulsion? Then Buddha said, purpose of revulsion is liberation, dispassion. What is the purpose of dispassion? Is liberation. Liberation from what? From politics, from economics, from enemies. Liberation here is liberation from desire, greed and ignorance. These are very powerful factors that bind us to samsara. So liberation from them is extremely powerful, meaningful, complete liberation. Then he asked, okay, what is the purpose of liberation? Why do we want to liberate? Buddha said, purpose of liberation rather is Nibbana. Purpose of liberation is Nibbana. Then, Venerable rather did not stop there. He was so curious, like a little child. Like a little child, little toddlers, as soon as they start talking at the age of 2 or so, they keep asking questions until you get really tired. What is this? What is this? How come? How come? What is this? What is this? They keep asking. And you keep answering. Finally, you would say, shut up, I don't have time. Buddha did not say that. Buddha went on because he was full of compassion and wisdom. One who is full of compassion and wisdom would not give answers like unenlightened people like us. Then finally, however, when Radha asked the last question, what is the purpose of Nibbana? Then Buddha said, you have gone beyond the range of questioning rather. You have gone beyond the range of questioning. You weren't able to grasp the limit to questioning. For rather, the holy life is lived with the Nibbana as its ground, Nibbana as its destination, Nibbana as its final goal. Once you reach the goal, This is the question many people ask even today. When you attain, what is next? What is next? Can we eat? Can we play games? Can we have a picnic? Can we have this and computers, beautiful television shows, entertainment, jokes? Can we have any of those things? So these are, Buddha did not say they are foolish questions, stupid, don't ask this question. He did not say that. He said rather, you don't seem to know the limit of questioning. This is the end. End means end. If you ask what is after the end, that is not intelligent question. So this is one of the discourses that Buddha delivered to Venerable Radha. And again Radha asked the Buddha, Venerable Sir, I like to end this very quickly because many, I said 46 discourses were given to Venerable Radha. This is one of them. I like to bring out another discourse that Buddha delivered to this Radha. Then he asked, Venerable Sir, it is said a being. In what way, Venerable Sir, is one called a being? Being? Then the Buddha said, one is stuck rather tightly stuck in desire, lust, delight, and craving for form. Therefore, one is called a being. One is stuck tightly. One is tightly stuck in desire, lust, delight, and craving for feeling, perception, thought, and consciousness. The word you Venerable uh, Radha asked the Buddha is Satta. Satta. So Buddha gave Satta in Pali. This conversation was not in English, it was in Pali. So they used this word Satta and translated into English as being. Now, those who are uh, stuck, tightly stuck in desire, lust, delight, and so forth, craving, and so forth for form, those who have desire, clinging, craving for form, feeling, and so forth are called satta. So, in that definition, all living beings are satta. But if one is free from them, what do we call that person? What if everyone is satta because everyone is attached to or clinging, they have craving for all five aggregates, that's all they have, they cling to them, and therefore they all are called sattas. And one who does not cling to them, what do we call that person? That is called asatta. Buddha is called asatta. There is a stanza in Dhammapada, asattam sugatam buddhang tamahang brumi brahmana. Asattam sugatam buddhang. The Buddha is asatta. That asatta is called a highest being. We use the word being for our conversation, but in the definition, according to the definition of being, Buddha is not a being. because he is not clinging, was not clinging to form, feeling, perception, thought, and consciousness. He is free from thought, feeling, and so forth. And therefore, he is not Satta. And Buddha gave a very beautiful simile. I want to take 2 more minutes to finish this simile and finish this discourse. Simile is very beautiful common simile that everybody can relate to. That simile is, suppose rather some little boys or girls are playing with sand castles. So long as they are not devoid of lust, desire, affection, thirst, passion, and craving for those sand castles, they uh, they cherish them, play with them, treasure them, and treat them possessively. That's called mamayati. Dhanayati, they think this is our property. Mamayati, this is me, this belongs to me, and so forth. They play with this sandcastle. Then, but when those little boys or girls lose their lust, desire, affection, thirst, passion, and craving for those sand castles, then they scatter them with their hands and feet, demolish them, and put them out of play. So too, rather, scatter form, demolish it, shatter it, put it out of play. Practice for the destruction of craving. So, in order, when Buddha asked him to shatter this form, feeling, perceptions, and so forth, what did he mean? He mean give up your desire, clinging, craving for all this sand you built up your sand castle. Sand is this all metaphorical, used figuratively for the five aggregates. So the discourse is very profound. Although this venerable monk is very old, he kept on asking Buddha question 46 times. And Buddha gave full sermon, full 46 sermons with a profound message to Venerable Radha. So see, such a simple person became a source for us to learn very wonderful Dhamma from the Buddha. So this is a very wonderful story, and now I want to conclude this with a metta. Today I want to mention something very special. That is, we had a monk called Rahula for 22 years with us. His mother was 100, more than 101 years old. Today she passed away. She was, I heard that she was driving even when she was 99. So when she met with an accident, they did not renew her license. That kind of wonderful lady gave a wonderful son like Venerable Rahula for the Dhamma, for the Sasana, and she passed away. And so this is what we just finished in our discourse, passing away. And she met this Mara only once. She doesn't meet that Mara again in this life. So we want to share our metta with all those who are in pain and suffering, at homes, hospice, hospitals, and so forth. May they all be comfortable and have very pain-free life and be normal and live long in good health to attain liberation and not to meet this mar again. And there are others who are grieving over the death of their loved ones, like this lady who passed away today in California. And may they understand Dhamma and get rid of their grief and liberate from samsara. There are many doctors, nurses, and hospital staffs taking care of these uh, patients. They dedicate their life selflessly, risking their own life in this COVID-19, and may they live in good health to continue their wonderful, marvelous service and attain liberation. There are many people who are financially supporting all these wonderful people, and may they also continue their generous, compassionate act to help these people. There are some leaders who have been doing wonderful jobs, and some of them have been successful. Some others are still not being able to do that. May they, those who have not been able to, may they have patience, understanding, determination, commitment, and wisdom to make right, wise decision. Friends, before I conclude, I want to give you homework. We are going to have our own personal vacation from the 19th, I think. No, tomorrow and day after tomorrow we are having our vacation anyway. But in addition to that, we have 6 more days until the 25th. So, so August 17 to 25th, no class. That is our vacation. And I like to start a new series of talks on a subject that is very important. It doesn't mean that what I said all so far are not important. But what I'm going to say, the next series is almost everybody talks about it, everybody knows at least the name of it, and but it is time for us to spend more time on this. And I have given many talks on this topic in many countries in the world. I am going to start it again. This is called Mahasatipatthana Sutta, great discourse on the practice of mindfulness. So I urge you to do your homework. That is, read this discourse. You can read in English in Digha Nikaya. It has been translated into many languages. You may find some other, translations. Whichever translation you find, it's called Digha Nikaya. You can go online and find a discourse. It's called Long Discourse on Four Foundations of Mindfulness. Long discourse. It is in Digha Nikaya. Digha Nikaya. So read that discourse and prepare for the next series of talks. I don't know how long I can give this talk and how long I live to uh, give talks. But this is the next series. Okay, thank you very much and keep coming, trying to practice. You will never lose a bit. Every moment you practice, you will gain. Okay? Thank you.